let's talk about the reality of Vince McMahon versus Triple H when it comes to booking. I've heard so many conversations over the past few years, 2 to be exact, about how much of a better booker Triple H is, how much better he is at finding talent. Guys, I love breaking this to you. Triple H did not find any of that talent. All of that talent already existed prior to Triple H actually getting into that position. We still got to let them cook is one of my main focal points, right? I don't think that the answer to this is just be like, all right, well, we should just fire Paul Levesque, right? Fire him because he's not making all of these dudes into like immediate overnight superstars. Sometimes you do have to still let them cook to try to actually let them try to prove themselves. There's a different conversation to be had about what it is that's actually making the shows seem like they're kind of bad, right? They're kind of bad. It's a different conversation to be had. Specifically, the writing. We gonna do a video about the writing later on down the line. I promise you. We gonna do a video about the writing. But right now, we're just talking about the overall booking. There are a number of talents in the WWE that, for a lot of fans, we feel are being wasted. They are not actually being utilized in a way that is going to turn them into a superstar. Now, granted, if you look back at a lot of the other superstars that we have, or any of the few superstars that we do have, these guys didn't get made into superstars overnight. It never happens that way. It didn't. Roman Reigns, suffering succotash. He had to go through a suffering succotash, bro. Cody Rhodes had to go through like 3-4 different revamps, go to a different company entirely, become another version of himself, and then actually come back and then somehow be over. These people be out here wrestling for years, bro. They just be out here wrestling for years. And I know everybody wants them to just like hurry up. And I understand it, but you got to understand. If we are talking about the overall issue surrounding whether or not Vince McMahon was better at finding talent, yes, he was, bro. He found the talent, and he was able to actually utilize it. Now, granted, were there a lot of missteps? Oh, my goodness, yes. There was a lot of missteps. There was a lot of different people who, at the end of the day, they just they weren't good, or maybe he booked them as too jokey. Maybe he booked them as a little bit too serious. Maybe he just didn't book them as often as he really needed to. And you know what? Those were a few years, right? But one problem that I have is that everybody seems to continue to have this narrative that Vince's entire tenure with the WWE, he never one time like was making great decisions. Are you kidding me? All of the greats that we have, they're all Vince McMahon, bro. It's all Vince McMahon. Every person that you think back on and you go, wow, I have fond memories of whoever this is. It was all Vince McMahon. Love him, hate him, it was all Vince McMahon. Let's stop acting like just because he had like a few years where he was making goofy decisions because he was an older dude and he just couldn't read the room on like what it is that people actually wanted. Let's not act like that was the entirety of what he did for the company, though, bro. At the end of the day, without Vince McMahon, you don't get the WWE. You don't. In fact, without Vince McMahon, you don't get AEW. You don't. Without Vince McMahon, you don't get TNA. There's multiple promotions. I'm so serious. You don't get these people without Vince McMahon. You have to admit that. If you having a problem admitting that, it's because you just hate Vince. And you know what? Look, you can feel that way about him, but we're not talking about stuff in his personal life. We talking about the objective fact, which is that this dude is literally like the forefather for bringing wrestling to a completely different height. It was never where it is today without Vince McMahon. It just doesn't get there. So I'm saying that to say this. I think we should let Triple H, let him try to actually cook. Let him try to make So you know what I mean? It's been what, 2 years? 2 years, and we supposed to just be like, all right, it's over with, bro. Just don't know what he's doing. Like, come on, bro. Let him try to actually turn some of these people into superstars. If it doesn't work out, I would say maybe give it another. Like, let's see what happens during the Netflix era. Let's see what happens during the Netflix era, because if that becomes better, which I think it might, because for the first time, we're not going to be having to worry about as much of the rating system, right? So we can do certain things that we weren't doing before, but we was just trying to just be a PG show. We can actually improve the show quite a little bit. Do that. Improve on those things. And then as time goes along, we'll see whether or not he has to take a different role in the company. But right now, let him try. Just let him try. There's a whole lot of other issues when it comes to what's happening with the WWE that actually create a much larger problem, right? Specifically, like I said before, writing. These promos that they write right now are some of the worst promos I've ever seen. And I think, honestly, I agree a lot with what Bret Hart said. I'm not sure if any of you know what Bret Hart said about this. I'm sure you know that Bret Hart has a whole lot of like grievances when it comes to just like new age wrestling or just wrestling in general. But I think that he was right and spot on when he said that right now it's just a bunch of lames in the back just writing random stuff, and it's like it's all starting to sound the same from everybody. Everybody is starting to sound like the same exact character. We don't need that. The reason that The Rock stood out is because he was his own charismatic character. The reason that Shawn Michaels stood out is because he was his own charismatic character. We don't need 20 different versions of Cody Rhodes. We don't need 20 different versions of Dominic Mysterio. What we need is to let these people actually let them start to come up with a little bit more of their own stuff. Let them have their own say. Because right now, as it is, it's like, bro, do you really want me to believe that like the best that Liv Morgan is? So she's coming in every single week and she's going, hey, I want the first thing that I say to be, welcome to Monday Night Morgan for the 20th time this year. Really? That's what you want me to believe? That she doesn't have any type of input? Let them have a little bit more say. The guys in the past, they had some level of say over like, okay, can I do this? This will improve me seeming more authentic. Even when I look at Cody talking right now, bro, look, man, I don't buy it. I may be a bit of a politician. Some call me a politician for like, bro, shut up. We don't like. I don't even believe that's how he talks. I don't. I want to hear Cody Rhodes talk about the things, the hurdles that he's had to actually climb. I want to hear him talk about these things that way. The famous Stone Cold Steve Austin promo that he cuts directly after, I think it was like one of the WrestleManias. That promo that he cut, that was him ad-libbing. Let them ad-lib, bro. Let them ad-lib. And then if the person can't ad-lib, cut him. Cut him. We don't need that. We need people that can like excite the people, bro. Can you excite them? Can you get them to really want to get behind you? We know Cody can. But if we're talking about him being more authentic, he was way more authentic in AEW than he is right now. And that's on everything. So like I said, man, let's just like give Triple H like a chance to, kind of cook. Let him do what he's got to do and see what happens, in the Netflix era. I'm excited to see, and I know y'all are too. I'm Self-Made Zay. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you still feel like you just hate everything that Vince McMahon ever did? You feel like he never had a good idea in his life? Or do you feel like, bro, who is it that's saying this stuff? It's very, very weird. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, and I'm Self-Made Zay, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.